Stefon Diggs being released by the Patriots and the Kansas City Chiefs being named as a top contender for his services has set tongues wagging across the internet, from NFL locker rooms to concert stages. So let's get into how we got here, starting with the moment Diggs and New England parted ways. The release: Diggs and New England are done. On March 4th, 2026, the news broke. NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero reported it first. The Patriots have informed the four-time Pro Bowl receiver they intend to release him at the start of the new league year on March 11th. Pop Base posted the news on X, and it went everywhere, from sports accounts to celebrity gossip pages. There was Diggs, one of the faces of New England's run to the Super Bowl, suddenly on his way out the door. Now, the money side of this told the whole story. New England's decision to part with Diggs was at least partly a financial one, as Diggs was set to make an additional $6 million next Friday. The move saves more than $16 million in cap space. Diggs, 32, was just 1 year into a 3-year, $63.5 million contract that he signed last offseason. That contract, on paper, looked like a multi-year commitment, but the structure told a different story. Diggs' base salary was rising from $2.9 million in 2025 to $20.6 million in 2026, and his salary cap charge was increasing from $10.5 million to $26.5 million. Diggs would have been guaranteed an additional $6 million on top of the $1.7 million he's still guaranteed to receive had he been on the roster by the end of next week. So the Patriots did what teams do. They moved on. And in fairness to both sides, there was nothing personal about it. Diggs himself seemed to understand. Diggs expressed gratitude for his time with the Patriots, posting 2 photos on social media with the caption, "Thank you for a hell of a year. Until we meet again." But here is what made this more than a standard roster move. This was not just any player being released. This was the man who had just led the Patriots to Super Bowl 60. In his first year with the Patriots, Diggs started all 17 games and produced 85 catches for 1,013 yards and 4 touchdowns. It was a strong bounce-back year for the 32-year-old after he was limited to 8 games during the 2024 season with the Houston Texans due to a torn ACL. Think about that for a second. A man tears his ACL with the Texans. The next year, he signs in New England, catches 85 balls, cracks 1,000 yards, and helps drag the Patriots to the Super Bowl. And then he gets released. Although he was largely prevented from making a difference in Super Bowl 60, 3 catches for 37 yards, it's fair to wonder if the Patriots reached the final game of the 2025 NFL season without him. His teammates' positive words regarding him during the week leading up to Super Bowl 60 underscored this sentiment. And nearly a month after losing to the Seattle Seahawks, coach Mike Vrabel maintained a positive review of the veteran. At the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis, Vrabel spoke about Diggs. Despite Diggs' lackluster performance in the playoffs, he recently received a vote of confidence from head coach Mike Vrabel, who said he was just a really good presence each and every week. But the numbers don't lie, and neither does the salary cap. New England was looking forward, not backward. New England wants to focus on internal development. Head coach Mike Vrabel said he's excited to see the development of 2025 third-round pick Kyle Williams, who delivered some highlight reel plays as a rookie, but finished with just 10 receptions for 209 yards and 3 touchdowns while playing 30% of the offensive snaps. The Patriots had younger, cheaper options waiting, and Diggs was now a 32-year-old free agent, hitting the open market for the second time in 2 years. Assuming Diggs lands with a new club in free agency, it will be his 4th team in 4 years: Minnesota, Buffalo, Houston, New England, and now, possibly, Kansas City. Why the Chiefs? The Kansas City connection. The moment Diggs became available, one team's name kept coming up over and over: the Kansas City Chiefs. And the reason is not complicated. Chiefs receiver Rashee Rice faces a potential suspension after facing charges of domestic assault, while tight end Travis Kelce has not decided whether he will retire or return to the team. That is the situation in Kansas City right now. Patrick Mahomes, the franchise, the face of the NFL, is coming back from his own injury. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes, recovering from a torn ACL of his own, needs more help at receiver. The offense needs bodies. It needs talent. It needs someone who has been there before. And Diggs has been there before, multiple times. 4 Pro Bowls, over 8,000 career receiving yards, Pro Bowls, 4-time Pro Bowl selection, All-Pro selections, 1-time first-team All-Pro 2020, NFL leader in receiving yards, led the NFL in receiving yards 2020 with 1,535 yards. Career stats: over 8,000 receiving yards, with multiple seasons over 1,000 yards. The site Belavip reported the Chiefs in and Giants as two teams that could benefit. This creates a huge opportunity for the New York Giants and Kansas City Chiefs in free agency. That means Diggs would be a short-term addition, which could fit with Kansas City's plan to jump back into Super Bowl contention in 2026, and that is the key word, short-term. Diggs is 32. He is not a long-term building block, but for a team like the Chiefs, who already have the infrastructure, the quarterback, the coaching staff, and the culture, a 1-year or 2-year deal for a guy like Diggs makes sense. Heavy Sports noted some concerns about the move. At 32, however, it could be more difficult for Diggs to find a team readily willing to sign him to a long-term contract, and he may wind up playing next season on a short-term deal. Now, the Chiefs also made a move that opened up some cap flexibility. They traded cornerback Trent McDuffie to the Los Angeles Rams. NFL media insiders Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport and analyst Brian Baldinger react to the Kansas City Chiefs trading cornerback Trent McDuffie to the Los Angeles Rams in exchange for the 29th overall pick, 5th and 6th round picks, and a 3rd round pick in 2027. That trade brought back draft capital and cleared space on the roster, giving the Chiefs more room to maneuver in free agency. There is also the Eric Bieniemy factor. Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, who's returning as Kansas City's offensive coordinator after 3 years away, know how to use Hill, who would benefit from familiarity after a rough ending to his Dolphins tenure. Bieniemy's return means the Chiefs are going back to a system that has historically maximized the talents of receivers who can run routes at a high level, and route running is Diggs' calling card. It always has been. Stefon Diggs has earned a reputation as one of the NFL's top wide receivers, known for his sharp route running, hands, and ability to make big plays. But the Chiefs are not the only option on the table. CBS Sports listed Washington, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Tennessee, and San Francisco as other possible landing spots. Washington makes sense for several reasons, starting with the fact that the Commanders have 5 wideouts slated to become free agents. In Washington, Diggs would help open things up for Terry McLaurin and Luke McCaffrey while giving Jaden Daniels another proven receiver to throw to. It's no secret Baltimore hasn't done a great job getting Lamar Jackson help at receiver. While he's no longer an elite player, Diggs would be an upgrade over what the Ravens currently project to have in their starting lineup alongside Pro Bowler Zay Flowers. And Fox Sports even predicted Diggs could land with the Jets. The Jets need a WR2 alongside Garrett Wilson, and staying in the AFC East would allow Diggs to play the Patriots and Bills, 2 of his former teams, twice a year. But the buzz around the Chiefs has been the loudest, and that brings us to the reactions from the NFL world and beyond. NFL players react. The league weighs in. When a player of Diggs' caliber hits the open market, the reaction from around the league is instant, and this situation was no different. The first reactions came from the Patriots' own quarterback, Drake May, and his coaching staff. The Patriots will now need to find a way to fill that void for quarterback Drake May. That is a void. When your number 1 receiver, the guy who just caught 85 balls for over 1,000 yards, walks out the door, that is a hole, and the guys in that locker room know it. Meanwhile, in Kansas City, the reaction was different. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes and wide receiver Xavier Worthy both peeled back their feelings in the aftermath of the blockbuster trade Wednesday. The possibility of adding Diggs to a Mahomes-led offense had people in Kansas City excited. The idea of Mahomes throwing to a 4-time Pro Bowl receiver with playoff experience. That is the kind of scenario that changes how people project a team's season. Now, here is where it gets interesting from a market perspective. Diggs is entering a free agent class that is stacked at the wide receiver position. Diggs turns 33 in November and is coming off a 1,000-yard season in which he still displayed many of the abilities that turned him into a star during earlier stints with Minnesota and Buffalo. He joins a free agent receiver class that includes a number of notable names, with Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Deebo Samuel, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, and Jawan Jennings among them. That is a loaded class. And for NFL players who are watching the market, the question becomes, where does Diggs rank? He is 32. He has had injury concerns. He tore his ACL in 2024, but he also just put up a 1,000-yard season on a team that went to the Super Bowl. That says something. There was also some chatter connecting the possibility of a Tyreek Hill reunion with the Chiefs. Hill is 32, coming off a serious knee injury, and has had the worst 2-year stretch of his career. But if his medicals check out, a reunion with the Chiefs makes sense. If the Chiefs can't land Hill, or choose not to, Diggs becomes an even more attractive option. CBS Sports laid out the decision Diggs faces. As he heads back into free agency, the 32-year-old Diggs may face an interesting decision. Does he want to go somewhere he'll be the primary option? Or, at this stage of his career, does it make more sense to join a team where he can complement an already formidable receiving core? For the Chiefs, Diggs would not need to be the man. He would need to be part of a system, and his track record suggests he can do that. In Minnesota, he played alongside Adam Thielen. In Buffalo, he was the number one, but he had Dawson Knox and Gabriel Davis around him. He knows how to share a field. The Tennessee Titans were also mentioned as a dark horse landing spot, and that connection has a personal element. It does make sense from a personal standpoint, as Diggs would get a chance to reunite with new Titans offensive coordinator Brian Daboll, with whom he had significant success during their years together in Buffalo. But the general consensus from players and analysts alike is that if Diggs wants to win, and if the Chiefs want to retool quickly, Kansas City is the match. That means Diggs would be a short-term addition, which could fit with Kansas City's plan to jump back into Super Bowl contention in 2026. Now, while the NFL world was reacting in football terms, there was a whole other conversation happening outside the sport, and it involved one of the biggest names in music, Cardi B, the relationship, the breakup, and the fallout. The Stefon Diggs story in 2025 and 2026 has not just been about football, it has also been about Cardi B. The two were first linked early last year and went public in May after being spotted courtside at a New York Knicks game. Cardi said on a September 2025 episode of Today, noting they connected through mutual friends. "I thought he was cute. They moved fast. They went to the Met Gala. They went to Paris. They posted on Instagram." In June 2025, the star and the football player made some more moves, debuting their relationship on Instagram and then taking a trip to Paris. And by the fall, a baby was on the way. Cardi B and Diggs welcomed a baby boy on November 13th, 2025. Her fourth, after having 3 children with her estranged rapper husband Offset. Then came the Super Bowl. The Patriots made it. Diggs was playing. Cardi was in attendance. She had even appeared during Bad Bunny's halftime show, but something felt off. Fans first began questioning the couple's status during Super Bowl weekend. Before kickoff, an ESPN reporter approached Cardi B and asked her to share an inspiring message to Stefon. She smirked, paused, and simply said, "Good luck," before walking away. That clip went everywhere. The brief exchange quickly went viral, with many interpreting it as a sign that trouble was brewing. Cardi and Stefon allegedly broke up around the Super Bowl, as fans noticed she left soon after her performance without watching him play. Insiders later revealed that the athlete had brought out a different woman at the arena who was cheering on him and later left with him. After the Super Bowl, Cardi said nothing about the Patriots losing. While recapping her game day experience, she made no mention of the Patriots' upset loss. Instead, she posted a video of herself dancing after appearing during Bad Bunny's halftime show. Then the concert started. Cardi B kicked off her Little Miss Drama Tour in February 2026, and the on-stage commentary began. At her Los Angeles stop, she confirmed the breakup and defended Diggs at the same time. While performing in Los Angeles, the Grammy winner stunned fans by confirming her split from NFL star Stefon Diggs in the middle of her set. This came after rapper B.I.A. took a shot at Diggs on social media. B.I.A. had earlier aimed at Diggs, writing, "Can you name someone with more baby mamas than receiving yards? I can, and I know that." Cardi was not having it. Cardi responded during her tour stop in Los Angeles, saying on stage, "Just because I ain't fucking with my baby daddy doesn't mean you get to talk about my baby daddy." Despite the end of their relationship, Cardi B made it clear she still stands up for Diggs when needed. Then at the San Francisco stop, things got more personal. Cardi B didn't hold back during her latest concert on her Little Miss Drama Tour, sounding off on Diggs after their split. The Grammy winner went on to say she was too sexy to be lonely and too grown to be played with, as the audience continued to cheer her on. The internet exploded. Blogs picked it up. TMZ ran it. Fox News ran it. And then Cardi pumped the brakes. Cardi wrote on X, "Dear blogs, when I perform a song, I always introduce the song with a lil razzle dazzle. Not everything is a shot or personal. I'm actually repeating lyrics from the songs. Relax." And there was one more twist. Cardi B and Stefon Diggs might have broken up, but the New England Patriots wide receiver's mom, Stephanie Diggs, is still the rapper's biggest fan. The 66-year-old matriarch took to Instagram and shared her preparations to attend a show on Cardi's ongoing Little Miss Drama Tour. Stephanie noted that she was going out for an epic night at the concert in Texas. Social media flooded with comments over Stephanie's surprising support for Cardi B after her breakup with her son. One user on X wrote that she knows her son fumbled. Others were confused, but the point was clear. Even after the breakup, the connection between these two families runs deeper than what we see on social media. The bigger picture, what comes next for Diggs? So where does all of this leave Stefon Diggs? On one hand, he is a four-time Pro Bowl receiver with a proven track record at multiple stops. He played college football for the Maryland Terrapins and was selected by the Minnesota Vikings in the 5th round of the 2015 NFL Draft. He went from a 5th-round pick to a household name. He became part of an effective receiving tandem alongside Adam Thielen, with his highlights including catching the Minneapolis Miracle pass during the 2017-18 NFL playoffs. That play, the 61-yard walk-off touchdown against the Saints, is one of the most famous plays in NFL history. In the NFC divisional round against the Saints, Diggs finished with 137 receiving yards and a touchdown. With only 10 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, Diggs made the winning play with a 61-yard touchdown, giving the Vikings a dramatic 29-24 win. He then went to Buffalo and became one of the best receivers in football. In his first season with the Bills, Diggs emerged as one of the top receivers in the league. He finished the 2020 season with a career-high 1,535 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns, leading the NFL in receiving yards. Diggs formed an immediate connection with quarterback Josh Allen, and together, they became one of the most dynamic duos in the league. He was named first-team All-Pro in 2020. He had 6 consecutive seasons with over 1,000 yards receiving, 2018 to 2023, and 4 consecutive seasons with over 100 receptions, 2020 to 2023. But on the other hand, there are concerns. Diggs is facing felony strangulation and other criminal charges stemming from an alleged dispute with his personal chef. Diggs has pleaded not guilty to the charges. He is next scheduled to appear for a pretrial hearing April 1st. That is serious. That is a situation that teams will take into account when deciding whether to invest in Diggs. The on-field talent is there. The off-field situation adds risk. And then there is the personal life, the relationship with Cardi B, the children, the media attention. Diggs has 6 total kids, including his boy with Cardi B, and 4 of his children were born in 2025. That detail was what BIA used to take a shot at him. It is what the internet used to criticize him, and it is what made the Cardi B breakup even more of a spectacle. But through it all, the football remains, and that is what the Chiefs would be signing. A man who, in his lone season in New England, helped the Patriots return to the NFL's upper echelon. On a personal note, he proved he can still be a productive player at this stage of his career. Does he want to go somewhere he'll be the primary option, or at this stage of his career, does it make more sense to join a team where he can complement an already formidable receiving corps? While the decision will most likely be his, the market will largely dictate where Diggs ultimately lands and what role he's asked to fill in 2026. The NFL's new league year begins on March 11th. That is when Diggs officially becomes a free agent. That is when the calls start coming in. And if the speculation is right, one of those calls will come from Kansas City. The Chiefs need a receiver. Mahomes needs weapons. And Diggs needs a team that values what he brings: experience, route running, toughness, and a track record of performing in big moments. The Chiefs have been connected to some other big-name receivers in free agency, and a strong contender is about to hit the open market. Whether or not Diggs ends up in Kansas City, the reaction to the possibility alone tells you everything you need to know about where people think he belongs: on a contender, on a stage, in the conversation. Now here is what I find interesting about the whole Cardi B angle. Through all of this, the breakup, the concert rants, the BIA beef, the Super Bowl drama, Cardi never once said Diggs is a bad football player. She never questioned his talent. She never said he does not belong on a roster. Her issues were personal, and even then, she defended him when someone else attacked him. Many fans praised Cardi B for deciding to respect Stefon Diggs. She may not be messing with Diggs RN, but the fact she stood on business about him at the same time. "I love Cardi," one fan wrote, and a source speaking to US Weekly about their relationship said it plainly. When speaking with US Weekly, a source detailed that the couple were always so up and down, adding that this isn't the first time they have broken up, so the door might not even be fully closed between those two. But the door to the next chapter of Diggs' football career is wide open. Whether it leads to Arrowhead Stadium, MetLife Stadium, M&T Bank Stadium, or somewhere else, Stefon Diggs will be playing football in 2026. And if it ends up being Kansas City, with Mahomes under center, Reed on the sideline, and Bieniemy calling plays, that is a situation that should concern every team in the AFC. The question is not whether Diggs can still play. The 2025 season in New England answered that. The question is where he plays next. And right now, the arrows are pointing toward the Chiefs. We will find out soon enough. Free agency starts March 11th. The clock is ticking.